it's Den here, and I can't believe I'm saying these words, but we're on Easter Island, and it's 1:30 a.m. There's a 75% moon. You may be able to see on here, but you are very definitely going to see in a minute. Right behind me are a couple of pretty amazing examples of moai, which are, of course, the giant statues here on Easter Island. I could not think of a better time on the entire trip to demonstrate to you the incredible feature of the Olympus camera Live Composite. Live Composite is a fantastic feature on these cameras. It's something that first attracted me to Olympus cameras. I remember the first time someone put it in my hand. It was an EM10 Mark. It was an EM10 Mark II, and they put it in my hand and they said, "Dennis, you're a light painter, you've got to take a look at this incredible feature of these cameras." This is an EM5, and I remember the first time someone put this in my hand and I was like, "What? You got to be kidding me. It's not a proper camera." But yeah, it absolutely blew me away and hooked me into the concept of mirrorless cameras, of Live Composite, and all the different things it could do. And for me here with the moai, it's you know, I don't want to be here all night. It allows me to really quickly see what's happening, and that's a big deal for me. I don't want to be mucking around waiting 3 minutes for exposures to see how much light I'm adding. And as you'll see in a minute, we can add light and watch it happen. So yeah, it's a stunning feature of Olympus cameras, and I can't believe that we're here on Easter Island and doing it here. It's just totally blowing my mind. So what it does is we set an exposure for the scene, and then we can add light to the scene. Now we can either do that by putting a light painting tool in, or what we're going to be doing here in this situation is taking an object, in this case a moai, which is very dark, that we would normally have to do a 2 or 3 minute exposure, light it up, add some light to the scene, and then guess what's happening. Well, with Live Composite, we can do that on the fly or live as such. And so yeah, this is a great situation to show you. So there are always challenges, and my challenge here tonight is that the moon has moved to a point where it's now behind the moai. And that's okay, it's quite exciting because it's still going to light the ground around where we are. But what it means is I can fill the scene or light the moai with light. And the Live Composite is perfect for that because it allows us to watch the image building live on the back of the camera. Now there's a whole lot of different situations where you can use Live Composite. This is just one. A good way to think about it is that we are creating a single exposure. So in this case, I'm looking at the scene and I'm probably thinking I'm going to go 20 seconds at f2.8, maybe ISO 2 or 400, and that may expose the scene really well. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to set the camera to 20 seconds, f2.8, and my ISO is at 400. So I'm focused up by using a torch. I'm at f2.8 for 20 seconds, and I'm just going to take a test exposure. So we'll wait for 20 seconds and we'll take a look and see what we've got. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at that. It looks amazing. Now actually the light that we're using for the video has illuminated heaps of the foreground, which is kind of amazing. But if I take a look at this image, everything's in focus, the clouds aren't too blown out. Now my video light has illuminated the back of the moai, the front of the moai, but that's okay. We'll be turning that off. So I'm going to reframe a little bit. All right. So I'm really happy that 20 seconds at f2.8 and ISO 400 is exposing everything okay. It's giving me that incredible bright image that I love for my with my long exposure and nighttime photography and light painting. Everything's lit up like a Christmas tree. But what we want to do is we want to add some light to the front in bits and pieces. So yeah, let's get into a bit of that. And I'll talk you through how we set it up on the camera. You'll see me going out and adding the light, and we'll see how we go from there. Beautiful Easter Island, Live Composite, bright moon, clear sky. I'm sitting here in a t-shirt, which is just amazing. Okay, so we're ready to go. I've got my got my live composite ready. We've done our test shot. I'll do another one, so let's do another test shot at 20 seconds f2.8. It's really nice having the clouds in behind actually, because with the clouds in behind we can we'll get some amazing movement on that. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm really happy with that. We can even see a little bit of texture in the front of the moai here, but certainly we want to be adding some light. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into live composite. Now what we do is we can see here we're at 20 seconds. We just move our dial across, we just move our dial across through 40 seconds, 50 seconds, across through bulb, through live time and into live composite. Now we press the menu button to check. That's how we set our exposure time. So I press the menu button, 20 seconds and press OK. Then we go back out. So we're on live composite, f2.8, and what it does, we press the shutter button once, and as you can see by the instructions, it's almost idiot proof. So it takes a 20 second exposure, and it has a look at the scene, and it's looking out there and it's looking at all the light that's in the scene, and it remembers and records that light onto the sensor. And then when it comes to the end of the preparation of 20 seconds, it then tells us that we're ready to take our exposure. So we're ready, and I press the button again. Now the most important thing is to make sure that you're on manual focus. If you're on automatic focus, it goes looking for focus. And so what we'll do is we'll take a look at the first exposure. So for 20 seconds it will bring up our first exposure. And we're going to take a look at that and see if we're happy. There you go. So I'm really happy with that. It's exposed well. Now of course the moai are in silhouette, and we want to add a little bit of light to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over, I've got a, alright, so I'm going to go over now. I've got a torch that is a torch attached to a light painting brush's orange color filter hood, and as you'll see I'm going to go over now and I'm going to add a little, I've still got my headlamp on, that's okay. I'm going to go over and I'm going to add a little bit of light to the moai, and you'll see it come up on the screen during one of the 20-second exposures. Okay. So I've added a bit of light there to the moai. I've gone off at quite an angle because we never want to do the lighting direct straight on at the angle of the camera. Woohoo! So he's lit up beautifully. That's really nice. Now what I am going to do, the moai over in the back there, he's quite a way away. So I'm going to head over there, it's quite a wander, and I'm going to go and put some light on him. Probably the same colour, just for the purpose of the exercise. So I'm going to wander over there, it's quite a way. Now an interesting thing to bear in mind is that from where I'm going to be adding the light to where the moai is quite a distance, and so you have to add quite a bit more light for it to see it. There's a rule called the inverse square law, and that applies to light painting as well. Alright, so I'm over at the other moai. Let's go. So I'm going to add a bit of light to that, and quite a bit more than I would at the other one for a little longer. Cool, he's quite a neat one. He's got big googly eyes. Okay, now we'll go and wander all the way back and take a look. All right. So let's take a look and see what we've got. We have, yeah, nice, we've lit him up nice. So I'm really liking that. I think we've got some really neat movement in the clouds behind. The foreground is lit up really nicely from the moon already. Wicked. So I really like that. I don't need to add any more light to him, but what I am going to do is I'm going to go in behind, because on the left-hand side of the moai here, I want to add a little bit of light. So I'm going to go down. I've got to go down behind, down by the ocean, but I'm going to hit him from behind with a torch, and I'm keen to see how that looks. All right, so I'm wandering down near the ocean. Of course, it's quite amazing that I can see where I'm going, because now you know what I've got in my pocket? I've got a Pala Blue light, so I'm going to use that. Blue is nice because it's a complementary colour to the orange that we've used. All right, so I'm going to hit him with Pala Blue, wander back up. Okay, so I've been down and I've added a bit of blue, but not really enough. The scene in behind is filling up with the clouds just incredibly. It's quite amazing, actually. It looks stunning. All right, so I'm going to go down. I'm going to actually put some more blue on that, because I can see, and that is the wonder of live composite, is that I can just go back and check, add more light, go back and check and add more light, and normally that's better. Cool. So I went down and I hit it with quite a bit more of the Pala Blue, but I think I want to add a little more orange to the front, so I'm just going to go and put a little more on him. I can just see up by his face here, I'd like to add a little more, so I'll just go do that. All right, let's see. Yeah, looking good. I'm really happy with that now. I think we've got the stunning clouds in behind. We've got just gorgeous light on him. I'm happy with the blue and the orange. They're complementary colors. So what I do now, we've been exposing for nearly 8 minutes. And the incredible thing is that if we were doing an 8-minute exposure at f2.8, it would be completely blown out. The clouds would be a mess. Yeah, so let's go. I'm gonna stop that now. So I press the button, and what it does is it does a noise reduction for 20 seconds, which is the length of the exposure times. It doesn't do the noise reduction for 8 minutes, which you normally would get if you were doing a normal exposure. So let's see what we've got. Awesome. So I press play and let's take a look. So I'm going to zoom in. That one's really sharp at the back. I'm loving the blue. Loving the blue. It's not overexposed. Yeah, it looks amazing. The clouds look amazing at the back. Yeah, they look incredible with a bit of star action in there as well. I'm really happy with that. It looks amazing. And the dark bit of cloud behind him here sort of frames him as well. So there we go, live composite. That was an 8-minute exposure that we just captured. If you tried to do an 8-minute exposure at f2.8 on ISO 400, it would completely just be blown out, especially with the moon being as bright as it is. It gave me the opportunity to really add light. For a couple of times I did the first at the front, then I went around the back and added the blue, and then a little more orange again to the front. The incredible cloud formation behind is just blowing me away. Totally unexpected. You know, the cloud wasn't there an hour ago, which is pretty amazing. You know, light painting doesn't always have to be adding light in, you know, doing orbs or adding light in bits and pieces. Light painting can actually just be light painting, adding light to a scene like a brush. So this was taken with an EM1 Mark II with one of the absolutely stunning 25mm f1.2 lenses. Now we shot at f2.8 because the f1.2 is phenomenally shallow, and I wanted to have a little bit of depth so that we could see the moai at the back as well. Cool, so that was the first look at live composite. Yeah, fantastic. Let's move on. Easter Island, Olympus, thank you.